Alright, let's dive into part 1 of this deep look at the growing buzz around Deandre Ayton and the Los Angeles Lakers. Over the past several weeks, there's been a steady stream of chatter from various media outlets, analysts, and NBA fans about the potential fit between Ayton and the Lakers. You see articles, podcasts, and even social media threads constantly throwing his name into the mix as a possible trade target for LA, but here's the thing. Let's be clear right off the bat, there have not been any concrete verified reports indicating that the Lakers have initiated trade talks with the Portland Trail Blazers regarding Deandre Ayton. Unlike names like Robert Williams, for whom the Lakers reportedly held conversations, Ayton's name has been floating around more in the realm of opinion than fact. Much of the narrative at this point is speculative, more of a should the Lakers do this, then they are doing this. That said, just because it's speculative doesn't mean it isn't worth talking about. Ayton is one of the more intriguing players in the league when you look at raw talent, age, physical tools, and flashes of high-level production. He's a 7-footer with a soft touch around the rim, a solid mid-range game, the ability to protect the paint, and a history of averaging double-doubles. On paper, this guy checks a lot of boxes. And when you consider the Lakers' needs, particularly at the center position, where they've rotated through various options over the years, the idea of a young, athletic, potentially dominant big man like Ayton starts to sound pretty attractive. But of course, with Ayton, it's never just about what he can do physically. The real question has always been what's going on upstairs with his motor, his mentality, and his approach to the game. There have long been concerns about his engagement level, his consistency, and his ability to stay locked in over the course of a full season. Back in Phoenix, those issues were well documented, especially in the final stretch of his time there. He had public friction with head coach Monty Williams, including moments where he reportedly refused to check into games for a team like the Lakers, a franchise that demands accountability and championship focus. Those red flags are hard to ignore. Still, you can't deny that the move to Portland did bring some changes in Ayton's demeanor. While the Trail Blazers weren't exactly competing for a playoff spot, and some of their lineups were more developmental than competitive, Ayton at least stayed out of the headlines in terms of drama. That's something. He's also still very young, only 26 now, turning 27 soon, which means that he could realistically have 6 to 8 high-level years ahead of him if things go right. He's in his prime years, and with the right coaching structure and veteran leadership, there's a very real possibility that he could re-emerge as the dominant center people expected when he was drafted No. 1 overall, and that's where the Lakers come in. If there's any team that could put Ayton in a position to succeed, it's one with established veterans like LeBron James and Anthony Davis, assuming LeBron stays, of course. Add a potential head coach like J.J. Redick, who might bring a fresh player-focused perspective, and suddenly the idea of unlocking Ayton doesn't seem so far-fetched. Imagine pairing Ayton with LeBron in the short term and with someone like Austin Reaves or a future core moving forward. There's potential for something special there. If Ayton buys in, he could absolutely be a 20-10 guy for the next several years. Now let's talk about cost, because that's the critical part. Ayton is under contract for 1 more year at around $35.5 million, which is a hefty price tag for a player with question marks around effort, focus, and health. But the fact that it's an expiring deal actually makes it more appealing. If the Lakers were to trade for him and it didn't work out, no harm, no foul. They could let him walk in free agency and clear the cap space. But if it does work out and they're able to negotiate a more team-friendly long-term deal, say $10 million per year, less than his current salary, then you've potentially found your franchise center at a discounted rate. It's that classic low-risk, high-reward scenario. From a basketball standpoint, Ayton has the tools to be an elite big. He's a career 16-point for point, 10.6 rebound guy with 1 block and 1 steal per game. He finishes efficiently around the rim and can hit the elbow jumper. While not a legit 3-point shooter, yet he did attempt nearly 1 3-pointer per game last season, by far the most in his career, showing at least a willingness to expand his game. He shot just 19% from deep, so obviously there's work to be done, but it's a start. His free throw shooting dipped last year to 66.7%, a career low, but the season before that, he hit over 82%, suggesting last season might have been an outlier. Defensively, Ayton isn't a lockdown anchor like a Bam Adebayo or Rudy Gobert, but he's not a liability either. He's mobile, he can switch in spurts, and he can contest shots in the paint. His rebounding remains one of his most consistent strengths. He averaged over 10 boards per game again last season, and he's always had a nose for positioning. In a system where defensive responsibilities are more structured, and with a guy like AD backing him up or rotating with him, Ayton could be highly serviceable, even above average. Still, you can't overlook the risks. Health has been a consistent issue. The most games he's played in a single season was his rookie year, 71 games. And he hasn't come close to that since. Last season, he played just 40 games for the Trail Blazers, and while part of that may have been strategic tanking, it still raises concerns. The best ability is availability, and right now Ayton has not proven he can stay on the floor consistently for a full season. That makes it hard to justify giving up a high-value asset for him. Say a recent lottery pick like Dalton Knecht or a future unprotected first-rounder. That's why this all comes down to the price. If the Lakers could get Ayton without giving up key young talent or multiple first-round picks, it becomes a very interesting gamble. Portland, for its part, may not be in a position to demand much more. They're rebuilding. They have multiple centers on expiring contracts, Ayton and Robert Williams among them, and they're not likely to commit long-term money to both. So they might be willing to move Ayton for a decent offer that gives them flexibility and maybe one promising asset. And unlike some other franchises, the Blazers don't appear dead set on avoiding trades with LA. So there's at least some chance this could be explored. So where does that leave us at this point? It's all about weighing the upside against the risk. If you believe that the right environment, a winning culture, a clear role, a demanding coach can bring out the best in Deandre Ayton, then he's exactly the kind of player worth taking a chance on. But you also have to prepare for the possibility that he doesn't change, that the effort remains inconsistent, or that he continues to struggle with injuries. That's the gamble. And it's why this whole situation is so polarizing. But here's the reality: the Lakers aren't in a position where they can afford to completely mortgage the future, especially with LeBron nearing the end of his run. They need to find smart, calculated ways to improve now while still keeping an eye on long-term flexibility. Ayton might not be a guaranteed fix, but if he's available at a reasonable price, he could be a piece that gives this team a new dimension, not just this year, but potentially for years to come. The conversation around Deandre Ayton and the Lakers continues to grow, especially as the offseason progresses and teams begin to evaluate their rosters with more urgency. With the draft and free agency approaching, decisions must be made, and that includes figuring out what level of risk a team like the Lakers is willing to take on. It's clear that Ayton represents a gamble, but one that could pay off significantly under the right circumstances. One of the key elements that continues to make Ayton intriguing to the Lakers is the potential flexibility his expiring contract offers. If you're a team with a timeline tied closely to LeBron James, you have to look at options that both maximize the current window and leave doors open for the future. That's what Ayton could do. His contract doesn't anchor you financially long-term, which makes this different from trading for a player with multiple years remaining and questionable upside. Now let's look at things from Portland's perspective. The Trail Blazers are not in win-oh mode. They're rebuilding around young talent like Scoot Henderson, Shaedon Sharpe, and whoever they add in the upcoming draft. Ayton, while still young himself, may not fit the exact mold they're prioritizing. They may be more interested in players on rookie contracts, future picks, and salary flexibility than in trying to rehabilitate a high-cost former top pick who hasn't yet lived up to expectations. If that's the case, Ayton becomes more of a trade chip than a centerpiece, especially if the organization feels they won't resign him anyway. That scenario opens a path for a team like the Lakers to make a move, provided they don't have to overpay in assets. What complicates things is determining what Portland actually wants. Would they be willing to take on an expiring like Gabe Vincent or a contract like Rui Hachimura's? If it meant they also landed a pick or a prospect, could the Lakers convince them that Dalton Knecht or Yalen Hood-Schifino is enough to headline a deal? These are the kinds of conversations that matter behind closed doors. And they hinge on more than just talent. They hinge on timing, leverage, and how motivated each side is to get something done. From the Lakers' angle, timing is crucial. If they wait too long hoping for a bigger trade target, maybe someone like Donovan Mitchell or Trae Young, Ayton could be off the board. But jumping too early could backfire if better opportunities arise later. That's the tightrope the front office has to walk. And it's why Ayton is such a compelling case. He's the kind of mid-level move that could look brilliant in hindsight or be forgotten within months if it doesn't pan out. Either way, the cost of acquiring him, if reasonable, likely won't break the franchise. There's also the development side to consider. In the right environment, Ayton could be coached into a more consistent, reliable contributor. With better leadership and a defined role, he might finally realize his potential. The Lakers have the infrastructure to provide that. Playing next to Anthony Davis could relieve defensive pressure. Playing with LeBron James could give him easier looks. And a fresh coaching staff could help reset his mindset. It won't be easy, he has to want it too, but the ingredients are there for a resurgence. Ultimately, the Ayton question isn't about whether he's talented enough. It's about whether the Lakers believe they're the team that can finally put all the pieces together for him. If they do, and if the price is right, this could be a swing worth taking. Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel, so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on, the NBA offseason is still a few weeks away, but the rumor mill is already churning, and a seismic potential trade involving the Los Angeles Lakers and the Utah Jazz has sent shockwaves through the league. Whispers from league sources suggest the Lakers are on the verge of acquiring promising young center Walker Kessler in a blockbuster deal that would reportedly send fan favorite Austin Reaves and multiple draft picks to Salt Lake City. This speculative move, if it materializes, would undoubtedly reshape the Lakers roster, bringing in a legitimate rim protector and rebounder in Kessler, who has quickly established himself as one of the league's most effective defensive big men. His shot-blocking prowess and rebounding tenacity could be precisely what the Lakers need to fortify their paint defense and complement their star players. However, the reported cost is significant. Austin Reaves has become a crucial piece for the Lakers, admired for his gritty play, clutch performances, and developing offensive game. His departure would leave a considerable void in the Lakers' backcourt rotation and raise questions about their perimeter scoring and playmaking. The inclusion of multiple draft picks further underscores the Jazz's perceived value of Kessler and their commitment to a future-oriented rebuild. For the Jazz, acquiring Reaves would give them a versatile guard with proven NBA experience and a strong work ethic. Coupled with the additional draft capital, this trade could accelerate their rebuilding efforts, providing them with assets to either develop or use in future transactions. While no official confirmation has emerged, the sheer volume and persistence of these rumors indicate that something significant might be brewing behind the scenes. Lakers fans will be on the edge of their seats, wondering if this speculative trade will indeed come to fruition and what the ripple effects could be for both franchises in the upcoming season. If the Lakers truly pull off this move, it would signal a clear intent to prioritize defense and interior presence, potentially sacrificing some offensive fluidity in the process. The basketball world eagerly awaits to see if this blockbuster rumor evolves into reality. Stay informed exclusively about Los Angeles Lakers news, subscribe to our channel, and hit the like button to keep receiving daily updates. Also, share your opinion on the news in the comments, as your contribution is crucial for the Lakers. Stay tuned for the next video.